Hi, today I'll show you how to make a high current gate drive circuit based on the TL494 for use in power inverters in the half bridge or full bridge configuration, or even push-pull, and as well as in switch mode power supplies. The whole circuit is as shown. It is powered from 12 volts, but you can use any power from 12 to 18 volts. 15 volts is optimal. The TL494 IC is very suitable in use as a control chip for switch mode power supplies and even inverters. It comes in a 16-pin package, and all the pinouts and the various connections are as shown. So pin 12 is VCC, which is pulled up to 12 volts. The open collectors C1 and C2 are also pulled up to 12 volts, and the open emitters E1 and E2 will be used as the emitter followers to drive the transistors Q1 through Q4. First off, the oscillator frequency is set to 100 kHz by C1 and R1, and the formula is 1 over C1 times R1, but because this is a push-pull configuration, the outputs at E1 and E2 will be half of that, so it's 50 kHz. And this is done by pulling up the output control pin 13 to 5 volts generated by the reference pin 14. The faster amplifier can be used as a feedback in case you have an external circuit you want to use to control the IC. The secondary amplifier also can be used for other applications, but in this case I have completely disabled it by putting up the inverting pin 15 to 5 volts generated by pin 14 and putting down the non-inverting pin 16 to ground as shown. The faster amplifier has a feedback of about 1 volts at the inverting input pin 2. And by using this, you can provide a voltage at pin 1 to control the output duty cycles of the IC, but in this case you can leave it as shown in case you want maximum duty cycle. When the circuit is powered, there is a soft start capability, meaning that the duty cycle will increase slowly from 0 up to the maximum, in this case which is about 97%, and this is done by the capacitor C3 and the resistor R9. When it's powered on, a capacitor acts as a short circuit, and so there will be almost 5 volts at this point, and so the output duty cycle is set to 0%, but as the capacitor changes, its resistance will increase, and so the voltage at pin 4 will also decrease, and this will increase the output PWM up to the maximum point. Capacitor C2 stabilizes the reference voltage generated by pin 14. Connect the feedback pin 3 to pin 15 as shown via 56 kΩ resistor. For the power transistors, the TIP 41 and 42 are complementary pairs, and they work very well together. They are rated for a corrector emitter current of 6 amperes, and this is very good, especially when driving MOSFETs in high frequency operations. But we do not need as much, but anyway they work fine. You can replace them with the BD 139 and 140, but the current will be much less, meaning that the MOSFETs you can use to control will be fewer. This configuration especially is very useful in case you are dealing with many MOSFETs parallel together, because you can change their gates and discharge them very fast using this high current. Pin 7 is ground, so because the output transistors are connected in push-pull mode, assuming in the first case the first transistor, which is C1 and E1, is on and the second one is off, so you'll have about 12 volts here, meaning that Q1 will conduct, but Q3 will be off, Q2 will be off, but because you have ground here, Q4 will conduct. This will allow current to flow from the 12 volts rail through the transistor Q1, through the primary winding as shown, and through the transistor Q4 to the negative rail as shown. In the second stage, now you have a 0 volts here, but you have about 12 volts here. So Q1 now turns off, but Q3 will conduct because it's PNP. Also, Q2 will conduct now because you have about 12 volts at its base, but Q4 will turn off. So current now flows from the 12 volts rail through the transistor Q2, through the primary winding, and through the transistor Q3 to the negative rail as shown. So this completes one oscillation, and because in a gate drive transformer the input and output waveforms are almost identical, there will be a corresponding square wave at the outputs as shown. The gate drive is made up of a ferrite transformer, preferably a toroidal ring, which can be salvaged from almost any switch mode power supply. It's the filter inductor used as the output filter, and it looks as shown. Ensure that the core is just moderate in size, about 1 cm in the internal diameter will work well. And for most cases, a ratio of 1:1 will work well. For example, you can have about 12 turns on the primary winding and 12 turns on the secondary windings, and you can have as many as you want. The resistors R10 and R11 ensure that the transistors remain off whenever they are not being driven. The winding of a gate drive transformer is very simple. Like, let's say I want to control a full H-bridge topology, so I'll have one winding on the primary and at least 4 pairs of windings on the secondary, and the easiest way to do is to grab some wires from a Ethernet cable. They usually have many strands bundled together, and wind all the wires in one direction. And because you have all the wires going in the same direction, all you need to do is to reverse the winding pinouts to power the top and bottom MOSFETs. Actually, a H-bridge looks almost identical to this one, but because in many switch mode power supplies you need a lot of power, instead of bipolar transistors, you'll have either power MOSFETs or insulated gate bipolar transistors, because they can handle a lot of current and they can withstand higher voltages. But the configuration is as shown, only that they can handle much current and power. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, check some of my other videos. Have a nice time, and I'll see you in the next video.